Hi everyone, I'm Mike Green, Public Information Officer in the Allen County Commissioner's Office, and welcome to Countyline, the public access television program featuring news and information about Allen County government. And we are coming to you today from New Haven, near the west side entrance of the Do It Best Corporation. This is the very spot we were standing at just about a year ago when ground was broken for the Maplecrest Road Extension Project, the largest infrastructure project in the history of Allen County. 1.5 miles of new road extending from Maplecrest, located in Fort Wayne, south across the Maumee River to Adams Center Road. 4 new bridges as part of this project, including 2 grade separated railroad crossings, a new bridge across the Maumee River. The project is intended to improve the accessibility, the mobility, and safety in an area currently underserved by north-south travel routes and crossings over the Maumee River. As I said, that was just a little over a year ago. We were out here breaking ground. And now, take a look at what's transpired in just over a year's period of time. This is one of the bridges that will be located near the Do It Best Corporation site. It's not even the largest of the 4 bridges being built, and you can see some of the supports that have already been put in place, getting ready to keep this project moving right along. Kyle Windling, who is with the Allen County Highway Department, is the project manager, and he has graciously agreed to take us on kind of a tour of what's been done so far and let you get a first-hand look at the progress that's been made on this project. And Kyle, we appreciate your time.
Sure thing. Anything to help?
Tell us a little bit about where the project stands right now from a time standpoint overall.
From a time standpoint, we finished the first year out of 3. We still have this summer and all of next year to go. Project is still scheduled to complete in November of 2012, and as it is right now, I'd say we're on schedule.
Okay. And of course, people should realize, especially a project this size, as we mentioned at the start, the largest infrastructure project that Allen County's ever undertaken, that November 2012 is tentative, and there could be some leeway because there are a lot of factors involved.
Well, you always have to worry about weather or any unforeseens that might come up. But the contractor has really put forth a good effort to get everything that I would say is critical to get up and out of the way. The biggest concern we had is working around with Norfolk and Southern, the railroad you've probably seen in the background there. And the majority of that stuff is done. The biggest thing we have right now with what you just saw in the film is setting the beams, and that'll be the next biggest thing that we have to accomplish as far as that goes. But as far as any other delays, I would say we're doing really good. Contractor's done a very good job.
Winter didn't bother you too much this past year, I guess.
No, believe it or not, bridges are kind of, you can make that as a year-round thing. And the contractor basically finished up this bridge right here through Do It Best and the railroad, and got I had pretty much all the substructure done except for the end bent down on the far end.
Okay, and from a money standpoint, we're still doing well. The project has had some extra expenses added onto it, but overall it's still below the engineer's estimate.
Oh, very well below the engineer's estimate. We've been watching everything we can, and I don't think we're frivolously spending by any means.
Okay. Well, Kyle's got to take us around. We're going to start, we're actually going to go to the top of one of these beams to kind of take a look around, and he'll describe for us as we go around what's been taking place so far and what's left to be done. Okay, we've made our way up now to one of the built-up areas where the bridge is going to come across. And Kyle, you were telling me that from where we are standing right now, the actual road that people will be driving over, about another 10 feet up. Is that right?
That's correct. Actually, what we're standing behind right here is going to look pretty much similar to what's back behind us right there. You can see it's all kind of formed up that way. So we've got beams that are roughly 6 feet tall. They're going to sit on top of here, and then we've got another few feet of road to go on top of that.
Okay. And let's see, the direction when we look this way, we're looking at, is that, which road is this?
South toward Adams Center Road, right down that way.
And from what I understand, at this area, you're also going to have the ability to put in traffic signals. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, actually, the way the road's set up is since we kind of go right on top of Nelson Road, Nelson Road's going to have a loop access. It's going to tie in just right by where we're standing. There'll be a traffic signal here to get all the delivery trucks and everything else for the businesses around here to get on and off safe.
I know you talked about this a little at the start, but building bridges obviously is fairly complicated work. When you're having to deal with railroad crossings and making sure you're not interfering with that transportation mode, it probably makes it even a little more touchy.
It definitely a little more touchy. We all actually, everyone out here on the project has safety class with the railroad because of all the rules and regulations that they have. But setting beams across that one's going to be a really kind of interesting feat just because of the train traffic we have out here, that's for sure. Not necessarily.
But all of this going along as planned. The sand, not simply to help people get up and down here. This is going to serve as filler, backfill. Is that right?
Yeah, just like landscaping a home wall, you have to put good dirt or sand behind that. Same thing, same principle applies here with road building, actually.
Well, we've moved now to an area by the Maumee River, and the bridge being built here is the longest of the 4 spans. And Bill Hartman, who's the County Highway Department Director, is with us. And Bill, this is the one that is the real challenge, I guess, in terms of the spans you're constructing.
Yes, this one we had to go down in below the river. The footers for this bridge are 10 feet below the river bottom. That you or the river bottom, and then there's piling approximately 25 feet below those as well to support this bridge. And it's a 7-span bridge, and right now 3 of the spans have been poured. The other 4 spans are being prepared for a deck pour here in about a week, thereabouts. And if you take a close look at the beams on the far end, you can see that they've come down level. And then the other 4 spans have an arc in the beams.
Right.
And that's a planned arc for the dead load of the wet concrete as it's being poured. And it's not often that you see this. Generally, these bridges are poured all in one day, and you don't see the difference. But there's just a lot of engineering that goes into the design of these beams, and then setting all the metal pans that will hold the concrete, and then the rails that will hold the finishing machine, so that this thing will ride correctly as the beams settle with the dead load of the concrete as it's poured.
So in other words, the arcs are built on purpose,
Right.
And the reason for that is
To resist the dead load, but there will be settlement, and it's all planned, as part of the procedure, for the finished product.
not just brawn but brains that has to go into in building these.
Yeah.
And it always amazes me the preparation work that has to take place before you even get to the point of building these structures.
Oh yeah, we have to take our hats off to the designers. The fellows that designed the beams and the piers and the deck, all the reinforcing steel, even the design mix of the concrete. Why there's just a tremendous amount of experience and engineering that goes into one of these structures.
It is amazing right now the work that's been accomplished, and you say that perhaps in a week or so from the time that we're recording this, the plan is to perhaps pour the rest of the deck of the bridge. Is that
within a week? Yeah, within a week. They've just about got most of the reinforcing steel in place up here on top, and yeah, within a week of today or so. Whatever the weather. It's supposed to rain tomorrow about an inch, so that'll hold things off a bit. But yeah, as soon as they can, why they'll get this poured, and next year in the fall, why we'll have traffic on it.
Okay. Now we've moved to an area that's just south of Parrott Road, and Kyle, you were explaining that to this direction is where we initially started. The bridges over the Do It Best Corporation parking lot. That bridge will end here, right?
Correct. This is basically where the road starts back up, looking down that way, and then we will actually have the road dips down enough that Parrott Road will actually be an at-grade crossing with Maplecrest.
And that way is north.
Yes. And which way is north?
This is north. Yeah, this is north, right.
And alongside here is where the
10-foot multi-use trail will be.
Okay.
Right.
So, and there will be a trail that will extend throughout
For
this.
the project. And then there'll be a switchback to the River Greenway on the north side of the river.
Okay.
that will connect down to the River Greenway as well.
And obviously, you're hopefully getting ready before too long, but how long will it probably be before you can really start doing any kind of work here as far as putting the road down?
Well, initially the contractor wants to get the bridge work done first. There is potential, not 100%, that people might actually see something yet toward the end of this year off of Lake looking south. Maybe actually see some roadway being paved. It's just dependent on weather and schedule and how things work out.
And I don't know if we can get a shot of it as far as it is, but Lake Avenue is down that way, and State Boulevard's even a little bit further. It's hard for me to see. But
right. Parrot Road is at the foot of the hill. Right. Lake Avenue is just beyond the bridge, and if you really, really look, you can see a little bit of motion, a little bit of movement at State Boulevard from this vantage point. So this is quite a view. This is the highest point on the project, and you have quite a view from here. When the bridge is built over the rail yards here and do it best, why, I think from that point you'll probably really be able to see the whole project north and south.
Yeah.
Well, now we've made our way to the other side of the Maumee River Bridge as part of the Maplecrest extension. We're on the Fort Wayne side, and actually you have to make a long detour around. You can't make a short detour through just yet, but eventually. Bill, back behind us in this area, you can see the area where the sidewalk and bike trail will be.
Right, this is the River Greenway, which of course extends on east clear into New Haven, and it's blocked off right now, and we're reconstructing. That'll be reconstructed underneath the bridge here, and of course we'll have a switchback from the northeast corner of the bridge back down and connect to the River Greenway. So we'll have a good east or north-south corridor with the east-west corridor, and that should be open, I think Kyle says, in June, thereabouts. Yeah.
Is the hope, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And back in this area is the famous or infamous sludge lagoon that a lot of folks talked about that could pose a problem, and you folks had a lot of preparation work before you could start the bridge and taking care of that area.
That's correct. Actually, all the dirt that was used out here, I know a lot of people have asked about it, is that big hole up there by Henry's greenhouse. That's where all the dirt came from to fill in this area. Actually, between that side and this side, we had almost 500,000 cubic yards of dirt that was brought in to make this fill. So everything through here with the sludge lagoons, if there's any kind of concern, we have monitoring with settlement stakes and all that kind of stuff, and making sure the fill doesn't drop any further than what's necessary.
And there's going to be some extra landscaping that you're going to put in, not just for looks, but to help out during the winter.
Yeah, that's correct. That was one of the concerns I think that was brought up prior to the project, was the potential with all the lime dust or any kind of dust through this area. So basically from the river up to Lake Avenue on either side of the road is going to be lined with trees. One for shade would be nice, people on the trailway and or cars. So actually it'd be a nice little aesthetic look to the project when we're all done.
And as you say, especially during the winter time, if there's snow blowing across, that's going to help keep whiteout conditions from hopefully from occurring along that stretch.
Yeah, immensely, since this area isn't really developed like any other areas are. So okay, look good.
Well, Kyle and Bill, we appreciate you taking time to show us around, see the work that's been done. I'm no expert on road building, that's for sure, but I can tell you I'm impressed with the work that's transpired so far. I know you still got a lot to go, but hopefully about a year and a half from now, folks will be driving on a new extended Maplecrest Road, and it's going to be a great addition to the north-south corridor through Fort Wayne and New Haven. Thanks again, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We've had a great designer on this project. We've got good contractors, and the project's gone very smoothly. It's going to be a great asset to the area.
Okay, Kyle, thank you also.
Thank you very much.
It was about 2 years ago at this time that talk began surfacing about a new home for city and county government, what is now known as Citizens Square at 200 East Berry Street. And now the time has come to begin moving city and county operations from City County Building at 1 East Main Street over to the new home. And the city is in the process of doing that now, and the county is about to begin as well. Chris Cloud is the executive assistant in the Allen County Board of Commissioners office, and he has also been the person chiefly in charge of trying to coordinate the effort of moving a number of county departments about a block over and 2 blocks down. And it is not nearly as easy as it might sound. And Chris, we appreciate you joining us today to talk a little bit about how this is going to transpire.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Talk a little bit about the strategies that are involved in trying to undertake moving 10 fairly large departments from one location to another.
Well, we've got about 180 employees moving, and our departments vary in size from the Commissioner's office. We've got 8 people. IT's got 3. Department of Health has 37. So we have some very large departments and some smaller internal administration departments. And each department has a unique set of issues and circumstances in moving, whether that be decades and decades of records. For instance, Surveyor and Highway have drainage and road records back to the 1800s. They keep and frequently look at in their offices. Moving their offices is a big deal. We've got technology, we've got furniture, we've got file cabinets, we've got people. And moving 180 people is a big task. It's like moving 180 home offices for someone at home trying to equate. You know, I've got a couple of years worth of files boxed up. Well, times that by 180, and then also just general office supplies, and it's a major undertaking.
Yeah, you mentioned it's not just people, but you're moving furniture, equipment, and you're having to coordinate schedules of movers who are going to be helping. This isn't something that people can just pack up their desk and take with them over to a new location. You've got a lot of other issues to deal with.
Sure. The city started moving back in beginning of April, and their move kind of coincided with finishing up construction, so they've had to take a little longer than I think they first hoped while the building gets finished. So their set of moves was able to be a little slower, kind of gradually fix out any bugs that were there. So we have the advantage of learning from them the best way to move, things to avoid, things to do, and from that we've kind of developed our plan around that.
When we talk about moving furniture, we're talking about moving in new furniture in some cases. Some cases we're able to take furniture in existing offices at the City County Building and move that. That's not always the case.
Correct.
So in other words, you're also having to coordinate deliveries of things into the new building.
We were fortunate enough, thanks to our excellent maintenance staff, to be able to reuse much of our existing furniture. But we did have to purchase some new items. Many of those items have already been delivered, even though our departments are just starting to move in the near future. Coordinating one loading dock for city moves, deliveries for the construction, deliveries for county furniture, and then deliveries for county movers has been a big undertaking. Jack Willis, the city property manager for Citizens Square, has done a good job of keeping everyone on the same page and making sure the loading dock isn't needed by 2 people at the same time. But that has been a big challenge. There are a lot of outside groups involved, furniture vendors, suppliers. You know, right now the city is operating some offices out of there. They have to get paper dropped off. They have to get inter-office mail dropped off. So it is a busy building already, and we're only going to add to it as we move our departments over.
Let's talk a little bit about, in the, I guess, the early days of planning this. Tell us a little bit about the steps you took and the Commissioner's office took in gathering, I guess, input from the departments that we're going to be moving.
Well, a bigger contributing factor rather than departments, although we definitely took into account their needs as far as special equipment they have, things to keep in mind, whether or not they could be closed multiple days or a single day, or if they couldn't be closed at all. We weighed into that. The bigger contributing factor to our move schedule was the turnaround to remodel the City County Building right afterwards. Due to construction there, floors 3 through 6 were our primary targets for early movers for the county. It has been our goal to be able to move those departments out as quickly as we can so that beginning construction can happen in the city-county building. Unfortunately, we didn't have the pleasure of moving at our own pace. We are trying to turn our move around quickly to then turn around and start remodeling the city-county building.
Okay, and we're going to put the moving schedule up on the screen at this point and let folks take a look at what the plans are. And they will notice the move is starting, it looks like May 27th, which is a Friday, and it's the health department, as you mentioned. The health department is on the 5th floor of the city-county building. So that's one of those offices that needed to move very first. Then on the 31st, you're looking at the surveyor's office, IT, information technology, in the commissioner's office itself, and human resources, which is on the 3rd floor. June 2nd, which is a Thursday, the Department of Planning Services, located on the 6th floor of the CCB, and the purchasing department, which is in the basement. They will be moving at the same time. And then the last two moves that will take place, June 8th, a Wednesday, June 10th, a Friday, the highway department, building department, and ACCDC, the County Community Development Corporation. Those two departments operate outside the city-county building.
Correct. They operate in what we call the highway building or the building department building, which is adjacent to the jail on 1 West Superior. They are not a first group to go because they can stay in their building until we're able to move them out. But we tried very hard to clear out floors 3, 4, 5, and 6 for our general contractor to be able to come back into the city-county building. And
you're looking at about a 2-week or so time span. Is that a realistic time span from your standpoint?
From talking to the movers and talking with our IT vendor, we feel in that 2-week time span we should be able to accomplish our move, yes.
And you mentioned there was coordination work that had to be done with the city. Obviously, the county can't really begin moving in until the city is finished moving in.
Correct.
So you've had to work in constant contact with those folks.
We have been in communication with the city on move schedules for many months. Them refining theirs and finalizing theirs, getting to the point where it's 100% firm, and then us doing the same exercise. Not only is there only one loading dock at Citizen Square, but we only have one freight elevator at the city-county building, which is a quarter of the size of the loading dock elevator at Citizen Square. So, you know, we've still got a lot of departments in the building. We couldn't tie up all of our elevators. We've got a lot of public in and out. That was another contributing factor to waiting until the city had moved for the county to move, was just the pure logistics of operating the city-county building, operating Citizen Square, plus getting movers in and out.
And obviously, you're attempting through this schedule to not only minimize the disruption from within the departments, you're also looking to try and minimize disruption from a public standpoint having to do business with the county.
Absolutely. I mean, if the public is aware that from May 27th through the Memorial Day weekend, then to June 10th, that this list of county departments is moving, I think it helps get them in a frame of reference to know that during that 2-week time span, you know, I may need to go to the new building, I may need to call first to make sure everything's still on for the move, but then after that June 10th date, I know everyone's going to be over at Citizen Square. We're trying to eliminate the guessing game of, you know, where are they now, you know, and we hope that by consolidating our move and getting it done as quickly and efficiently as possible, that we do minimize impact to the public.
I think you mentioned earlier that there may be, and probably will be, periods of downtime for some of these departments on the day they move. They may have to cease operations for that day, or they may be able to do some work. A limited amount of services.
Correct. I would say for most departments, they will end up needing to close the day of their move. We apologize for having to do this, but when you move your house, you're not necessarily all unpacked and cooking dinner that night either. And this is the largest move the county's done since moving into the building in 70 or 71. So I think to close a day is an inconvenience, but to get departments moved over there, to get boxes starting to get unpacked, to get the frontline staff settled in, their computers unpacked, unplugged, pens and pencils in their desk drawers really helps out to getting this building ready to go the day after their move.
Yeah, I was going to say, 1 day delay is a small price to pay in order to get services back up and going again as quickly as possible. We talked about this in a previous County Line program, but it bears repeating again. There will be some county departments that are remaining in the city-county building.
Absolutely. The city-county building will remain very much operational, not only through construction with departments who are still in there, but also afterwards. Many of these departments are staying. The big four citizens are aware of, the auditor, the assessor, the recorder, the treasurer, they'll remain in the building the entire time through construction of the city county building, as well as permanently in the future. In addition, the Veteran Service Office, Metropolitan Human Relations, which is a city department, will remain in there. Although there is a temporary move that Voter Registration and Election Board will be doing to allow their new space in the city county building to get ready, they'll have to temporarily relocate out of the building. They as well will be a continued tenant in the city county building. So there will be some familiar faces, some familiar offices, and then there'll be some new homes for some of us as well.
And as you mentioned, once the move out of city county building to Citizen Square is completed for the county offices moving, right after that is when work can begin on the CCB to begin its renovation process, housing those departments you mentioned, but also serving as the new headquarters for city police and fire, and also some aspects of the Allen County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, in addition to those three offices or departments, the Public Defender, the Allen County Solid Waste District, and the coroner will be relocating into our building as well.
I have a feeling that when you got in this job, learning as much as you have about the moving business wasn't what you had in mind, but it's been a daunting task, I know, but it looks like things have been planned out and look like they're going to go smoothly.
It has definitely been a learning experience. Nothing in school ever trains you for moving 180 people, but I will say that our department heads have been a great help, not only in being patient with me in the process, but they know their people, they know their departments, and they have been a great asset in getting information to me, working with us and the movers, and also just helping morale in their department. Change is never easy, and they have been a big help in helping staff to make the adjustment, to mentally prepare to move, and also to now begin boxing, and they're ready to go. Our departments are ready to move and ready to get started in their new place. Okay.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you taking time to be with us to explain a little bit about this, and hopefully it's something folks can look forward to. And we'll remind folks that as this move is continuing forward and you want to keep track with what's going on, the Allen County website, allencounty.us, will have information. We have a special page built on that website, allencounty.us/moving day, where updated information about the move in progress will be provided to you, as well as on our social media sites and through the regular news media.